Hello everyone, this is Richard from Durango, Colorado. I'm trying to do a short video post off of my cell phone. Um, Nothing particularly exciting going on today. I'm just running some errands, charging a few batteries, messing around over at the shop that my father works at. Uh, just checking in so that everyone knows that I'm still alright and life has been full of all kinds of little excitements recently. I think I may have tracked down a few old friends. I've gotten in touch with some more of the people that I know. Um, Still staying in a tent during the wintertime, which is always fun. I'm out at a place called the Purple Cliffs. It's sort of an experiment that we've got going on in our county. It's a homeless camp for folks with nowhere else to go, trying to cater to the unhoused community. We've made pretty good progress there. We've managed to put together a community kitchen, two separate community tents, a shower facility. We've got porta potties and a trash dumpster, and they're even talking about putting in a Wi-Fi setup for us. We have some solar chargers for our cell phones and a few other interesting little options that I don't think I've ever seen anywhere else in a camp for the unhoused community in our country. Um, Not a whole lot significant going on other than the winter in Durango. Our only big piece of recent news that we had is we had a parvo outbreak, which took one of the puppies on the hill, but the others have pulled through okay and seem to be doing fine. For the most part, relatively uneventful other than the usual little bits of chaos that we tend to experience. Um, so, I think that covers most of the excitement. Some of you may remember that I tend to use little mopeds a whole lot in my life because they're very fuel efficient and you don't have to insure and register them here in the United States as long as they're below a certain number of cc's. I have constructed another one this year. It was one of the things that I spent some of my stimulus check on. I'm not sure how I can switch this camera back around to the other view. So what I'm going to do is attempt to show you the little bike that I have. You'll have to forgive me, it's somewhat dirty. I've been riding it in bad weather and on roads that are wet and muddy, so it is not as clean as usually they tend to be. But I'm going to pan around here and see if I can get it in a picture for you. The little Trek 8000 that I was set up with the jail release program that I went through when they let me out of lockup this last time, and then I put a motorized kit on. So far, it's been pretty reliable. Every now and again, I'll have a little fight with the load on the carburetor. Probably noticed I don't have a tension on. That's one of the things I like to do with my bike kits is I eliminate that from the system because that plastic wheel on that tensioner tends to wear out. The trick to that is you have to pull the chain off and measure how long it needs to be. And then you use a punch on a block of wood or in a vise and knock one of the pins out of the chain to remove the unwanted section of it. But that particular technique works very well, and occasionally you do have a little bit of slop forming the chain that you have to remove. But outside of that aspect, it's been pretty steadfast in its function. Can't really complain. It's hard to beat the gas mileage that they get, although you do have to get into the habit of carrying a small bottle of two-stroke oil in your pocket just in case you need to refuel. Um, yeah. So, all is well so far, and we are taking care of things as best we can. They've been discussing trying to set up another camp, and some of us internally have been working on our own. Trying to think anything else that's noteworthy. I'm supposed to be working on a trade for a front-end loader. It's a very old front-end loader, an old Hughes-built payloader. I believe it's an FH model. Has a Hercules flathead 6-cylinder in it. I'm going to be doing an engine swap for that if all works out well. Where I'm going to take a 454 out of a mid-90s Chevy truck and put in another engine or rebuild the one that came out of it, which will hopefully secure us a front-end loader for doing some brake work and other things. I know it's going to need fixing up, but that's something that I have within my skill set. Not particularly difficult once you're a competent mechanic. Anyhow, all is well, for the most part. And our little experiment, though it's not perfect, has been going fairly well. It's certainly a unique thing to see, especially for folks in our situation. For the rest of you who I tend to watch the channels of, thank you. It keeps me entertained in the evenings when I have very little else to do but unwind and sit in my tent. It's been a bit of a blessing. And some of you have parts more than others. But it's still nice to have that little escape, yeah? Anyway, from Durango, Colorado, hello, and I will try to do this a little bit more often. It's not something I've been partaking or participating to in recent years. A bit of the turmoil in my life led to the interruption, but here's another attempt. Till next time.